Welcome to the Random Encounter Show. I'm Deathstalker 5, and I'm back in the saddle. Has it been this long? I've been itching to get back on camera. Oh my goodness, it's so good to see all of you out there in YouTube land. Let me silence the cell phone real quick so we don't have to, have copyright issues if somebody calls. Yeah? Anyways, without any further distractions, back in the saddle, baby. It feels good. Hey, I'm not even really experiencing camera shyness, believe it or not. Of course, time will tell as we get into the video. But yeah, I've been itching to get back on camera. I've been missing all of you guys. We've been putting out stuff for the members here on the membership part of our channel. And I have to give a huge thank you for the members sticking with us and staying up with us and supporting the show even when we were temporarily down. It's been wild here at the Fortress of Doom, to say the least. Life sometimes just gets to where you have so much to do. There's just nothing, there's really no time for anything that just wasn't purely essential. Yeah? And that's where I've been at now for several months. Luckily, we've wrapped up a whole bunch of the background stuff, commission works we were working on. I don't know, fixing the exploded lawnmower. Yeah? What else happened while I've been gone? Oh yeah, we survived the a zombie apocalypse at our local Walmart here a while back. Yeah? I didn't even remember that till just now, that I wanted to talk about it. You know, that we were shopping at Walmart. You guys, if you're veterans of the show, you know, you've heard me speak about the terrors of Walmart. Now think about the terrors of Walmart when a tornado hits the building and the building loses not only power but also generators. The roof's getting lifted off and there's water pouring down like a waterfall in the store. And they herd us all up front and they locked the doors so no one can leave, and people started having conniption fits. Yeah. It literally like zombies. People standing against the front door beating. Yeah. We also had a church group in there. They broke out in gospel singing. Yeah, it was an experience, guys. Life is an experience if you just, I don't know, if you get out there. That's why I stay at the Fortress of Doom as much as I can. But yeah, we've been getting things in life wrapped up, things with me and the wife. If I look like I have a stiff neck, it's absolutely that I have a stiff neck. I can barely turn it to either side. I don't know, I woke up this morning and I felt like I had a knot in my shoulder. And I don't know, I went to my wife. And I said, sweetheart, my most darling wife, it was your birthday yesterday and I didn't want to bother you. But today, can you, can you poke around on my shoulder and see if you can feel the knot that's in the trapezial muscle or wherever it's at? And see if you can work that knot out. You know, and it's always, yes, and it's pleasant and everything until she found the knot. And then she put me in some kind of Mongolian Death Grip from Haku in the WWF. Yeah? Oh my goodness. Talking. Almost went to my knees. And then she let go and said, yeah, you're all better. And at first I believed her. I was like, wow, I can really move my neck around. Yeah, then about 5 minutes later, I can't move my neck at all. So yeah. What do you want? You know, she does acupuncture. Or she used to before she retired. She had a woman's clinic. And she's like, yeah, I can go get my acupuncture needles out and work on them. I'm like, no thanks. No thanks. If you did that with your fingers, I don't want to see what happens with needles. No thanks. I'm out. Yeah? I hope you guys have something to drink. It probably needs to be stiff for this. Of course, I'm jumping on. I didn't even know when I would be able to get on. I said the first free moment I possibly had to have a little stretch of time and then be able to sit down and and talk about things, I was jumping on it, and it just appeared today. It's gone tomorrow. It's gone for the rest of the week, but it appeared here and now. So I jumped on. I love you guys. Yeah, wild horses couldn't drag me away from doing this show. Nothing in life's going to drag me away from doing this show other than death itself. And then I'll probably figure out a way to come back. Deathstalker 5, Live and Undead. Whole new series. Yeah? So how you been? We've like I said, the members have been keeping up with me and I've been keeping up with them, but I have no idea what's going on out there in the gaming world. Yeah, I can't even remember the last time I sat down and played a tabletop game. It's been months. It's really been months for some proper gaming. I've been knocking off some video gaming. Speaking of which, I know most of you are here for tabletop gaming, especially solo RPG and stuff. We're going to be getting full force into that. We have a lot of catching up to do. We have a lot of deep delves to do. It always seems like the more I try to catch up, the more I get behind with things around here. Yeah? So just keep being patient with me. All you new subscribers coming in, hey, my hat's off to you. Glad you're here. Glad you're part of the Random Encounter Army. If you haven't done so, check the links in the description below or on the channel page, or Google, or search us on Facebook, whatever. But we have a Discord channel and we have our Facebook group. We have to give a big shout out to John Stope over on the Facebook group. He's been behind the show basically since we kicked off. Just an awesome member of the Random Encounter Army. He's helping keep the Facebook group going. He's getting in there and he's getting a lot more engagement and stuff going on, and that's what I love to see. But that's where, even if I'm not able to have a chance to jump on camera, you can jump on there and chat or whatever, Discord, on Facebook, etc. Message the page, I don't care. You can ask anyone in the Army. If you message me, I'm going to sit and talk with you, because this is a community thing. Yeah, that's why I'm doing all this, for the community. A positive, good community where we can support each other and check out gaming and just get involved, with our hobbies and passions and such. So yeah, I absolutely love the community aspect, and I'm 100% for it. And I'm glad to see others wanting to step in and work with the community and do some stuff with the community as well. Because really, it's what we make it. We started this channel off. It's a community thing. Yeah, look at the artwork and stuff we have for the channel and stuff. That was all contributed by community members. People like Steve Priest and Steve Crompton. Now all we need to find is like 2 or 3 more Steves and we'll have it made, yeah? Steve Priest just sent us over some awesome music he did. We'll have to get it included in the show. We'll have to remake some stuff or whatever. But the Random Encounter show's got a theme song going on around here. Yeah? It's awesome. So yeah. As far as gaming stuff though, back to it. Where was I going? Yes. We always come back, guys. Just be patient. I've been doing some video gaming and I haven't had a lot of time to do tabletop gaming and such. That's just because of time. Yeah, tabletop gaming, I really like. When I sit down, I don't even want a few hours. I want a day, to where I can sit down, no constraints. I know that that's not always ideal, and, the best you can normally hope for is a few hours. But my favorite times is when I can just sit down and I don't have to worry about time whatsoever. And I can get into a solo RPG campaign. Or I can get into a really in-depth, Starfleet battle game or something. Where I don't have to worry about time and I don't have to keep checking the time and I don't rush myself. I allow myself just to get into it as deeply as I want and enjoy the experience. So normally, that's what I aim for. Not always what I get. But with video gaming, I've been doing a lot, and we're going to be seeing some video gaming stuff around here for a little while as we work on catching back up. Right now, I'm not filming at the questing table. It's full of Atari stuff that's been sitting there for, 2 or 3 months. Because I've already captured the game footage and stuff, I need to sit down and make a video. We're going to be doing a 3-part mega episode on Gaming with Aunt Lisa, talking about the Atari 2600, 7800 and such. And then I really want to start diving into the older consoles and such, because so many people have expressed interest in that. So we're going to be diving into that, with Atari releasing new ways to play their games and such all over the board. I think there's so much for people who either back in the day played it, especially people who, played Atari and such in the early 80s, and then didn't pay attention so much afterwards. There was a heck of a lot of great stuff that was released after 84 for Atari, like the 7800. Yeah, I want to get in there and explore that, because I've heard a lot of interest. While I've been away, I spent a good deal of money to get the first gaming machine I ever had and got to experience on my own as a kid. It's a computer. Yeah, but I think with the video gaming stuff, you're going to be able to see a lot of stuff you've never seen before. Yeah, that's the hope. If not, we're going to go over stuff and we're going to relive those memories with you. I love nostalgic stuff. Yeah, so for me, a lot of my gaming, I play nostalgic stuff. And not necessarily it's nostalgic for me because I played it back in the day, but it comes from the era that I love so much with gaming. The 80s and the early 90s. As far as video games and tabletop games go, that's my era. That's my jam. So that's where I spend a lot of my time. I have nothing against the new stuff either. I got a PS4. I've been working on Star Wars Battlefront 2, if you want to call that new. I think it's probably a decade old by now. But that's new to me. So yeah. Let's dive into a few things here. A few things were sent over to the show. One of those things were something that is going to be a little bit of a mixed bag here. We got in from Steve Crompton and crew the Cthulu Crisis and Vampiruni Crisis comic/gaming material. I will say up front that I'm not going to talk about these a whole lot. Yeah? The reason for it is that it's a little more adult than I'm comfortable putting on the Random Encounters show. I try to keep things here, as I've said before, PG-13 or under. I know for a lot of people they could care less, but I've always wanted to have a gaming show that no matter who you were or what you were into, you had a comfortable place to come in and you could watch the show even if your family was around. If they're interested in stuff, they can watch it with you. That's a big thing for me, because there's so many channels and stuff I have on YouTube that if my son or my wife or somebody walks into the room, I have to flip it off because the language and the topics and such just aren't appropriate. They wouldn't appreciate that. So I try to keep language and themes and everything with the Random Encounter show to about a PG-13 level. These have adult stuff in them well beyond that level, even though it is lightly censored. I will say the artwork, is great. Of course, it's Steve Crompton, and he's got a whole new crew of artists with him. The stories are decent. Okay, I'm not a huge comic fan. The original Cthulhu Crisis to me had more of a sort of like a 1990s dark Batman Gotham scene kind of feel to it. And it's a little bit more, I don't know how to say. Because it just doesn't click with me. That's just probably the best way to say it. The one interesting thing, though, with these is they also include in the back a gaming section that if you want to replay these comics, these scenarios with these characters and such, using the Monsters rule sets, probably 2.7 would be best. I think that they do a good job of representing the stories and characters and everything in the comics to bring to your game table. Yeah, not my cup of tea, but like I said, the quality's there. You guys know Steve and Ken and the rest of the crew over there, including some new people they've brought in on this project. I am looking forward to see the Trail to Zimrala and Humans. You know, the Trail of Zimrala is a solo adventure coming out. That's for Monsters, and it has a supernatural Western theme. Yeah, I absolutely love that, and I'm really looking forward to that, and the Humans supplement. So yeah, we appreciate Steve sending this over. I enjoyed looking through it and everything, and yeah, great job on these. Now, where are we going? I don't know. We had a surprise sent in that I really wasn't expecting, and we're going to talk a great deal about this a little bit, because this will be sort of a follow-up and talking to you guys. Remember earlier this year we talked about the Imagine role-playing game. Yeah, the Imagine RPG system. This is just the first player's book. We sort of skimmed through this and several of the other books that I ordered from them. And, you know, messing around with character creation, combat, and different things. Even though I haven't got time to play a full campaign with this just yet, I have been playing around with it. Sort of some small little, solo adventures, you know, just throwing the characters out there, rolling up some random encounters and stuff, and seeing how the game mechanics in this game and how it all fits together and flows together. And boy, am I impressed. I'm highly impressed with the Imagine role-playing game system. I'm going to set down the book, even though I love holding up books while I talk. It's a heavy book, and that shoulder, that Mongolian Death Grip that the wife put me on my knees with, yeah, that's biting right now, holding up that book. But the Imagine role-playing system, you know, it's a very detailed. I said I wouldn't hold the book up. We'll use the other hand. This is just a bare bone basic book to get you sort of started. It's fleshed out big time with multiple tomes that are of equal size or greater. It is one of those games, like I said initially, that it reminds me of a take on games like you would think of, like really detailed role-playing systems, much like RuneQuest and Rollmaster, type systems that I really enjoy using for my deep solo gaming. I love the detail they provide versus using a more abstract system and having to use a plethora of tools to get that detail. No, I love it when the game systems themselves have it built in. That's a big thing for me. We'll be talking about solo gaming soon and some solo tips to get your game going further. That's going to be a big part of it. But the rule system itself is so rich in detail and everything fits together so well. And unlike RuneQuest for the most part, and more like Rollmaster, I noticed that with each of the subsystems in this game, subsystems being things like character creation, magic, combat, experience, etc. All those subsystems that make a whole. That this game, you can use as much detail as you want with it, or you can use as little detail as you want for it. This game is very, very, very easy to scale. And another thing I noticed that is, if you want to change up the way some game mechanics work. For example, to me, the attribute versus attribute roles of this game. It has sort of it just has sort of a more complicated formula. And I get why they wanted to do that. It figures a lot more in. But for me, I really, really, really just simplify that into 2 roles. Whoever gets the highest role with their modifiers and bonuses automatically wins the ability contest, just to move things on a little bit faster. Yeah? But doing it that way, it doesn't bother the other subsystems of the game. You know, and that's getting more rare nowadays with RPGs they have the subsystems, but they're so intertwined into a set of mechanics that if you change the mechanics, you're now altering every single subsystem and how you have to use it at the table to keep it making sense and balanced. Yeah? So like Rollmaster that had a unified D100 mechanic, you know, the way you use that mechanic for, say, combat or magic, etc. You could scale up or down of how much of that detail you wanted or how many of those mechanics you actually wanted to utilize with that core mechanic, and it didn't change what happened with the rest of the subsystems. So yeah, my kudos to Michael Tenry and crew. I've said this before. I'm not sure if I said it here on YouTube, but I've said it before many a times. That to me, the Imagine RPG, it's probably, if I would say that, I don't know, I'd have to do a lot of weighing of things, and I'm not super experienced with a massive number of RPGs. But I will say, for me personally, maybe that's better. For me personally, this is the best independently published or small house published, however you want to look at it, outside of the big publishers and big name games. This is the best RPG system that I have ever picked up outside of all of that. In fact, it's already made it to some top spots for me. I'm completely in love with this RPG system. For me, you know, I have some top RPGs. Rollmaster 3rd Edition Standard is sitting right up there. This is coming with it. You know, this is coming up on it. So I can't wait to get in some more in-depth campaigns with this for solo play. Maybe we'll kick off some group gaming. I know Michael runs some stuff, and this is one busy guy. This is one busy guy. He's working all over the place to make this game accessible. Even with your online, I don't know if it's on Foundry or Roll20. I'm not familiar with those types of mediums in which to play RPGs, but I know he's translating the entire game digitally to one of those mediums in which you could play online. I'm sure he's going to see the video, and I really welcome his comments below. He can guide you where you need to go to learn more about this. I will put a link to his website that covers Imagine RPG in the links below, but I'm super impressed with this game. Yeah, I didn't know what I was getting into when I found this game. Yeah, I couldn't believe that it had been out since, I believe, initially 97, and then got its first real big print in 99. I could be wrong. It's been a minute since we did the video. It says 97, 99. So, yeah, I think that's correct. And that it's continued going like it has. And there was no coverage on this game whatsoever on YouTube and stuff. It's one of those things, I hate the term now of hidden gems. I absolutely hate that term after it's been, I don't know, I see people, what are they going to call it? Advanced Dungeons and Dragons is a hidden gem. You know, I hate the term now because it's really not good to use because so many people have overused it. But for me, this really is a true hidden gem. Yeah, and several of the people that jumped on board, that when we did the video and we talked about it and stuff, they've got into this and they're just as excited as I am over this. So yeah, it's just an amazing RPG out there that for some reason never hit mainstream, and that's probably why it's so good. Yeah, name one RPG that sort of hit its zenith and went mainstream that remained at its core how good it was over time. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. That sounds dumb. I don't know. Every RPG I've ever played, though, it got big and then it went downhill. You know, take Dungeons and Dragons, for example. To me, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons is a sort of the epitome of Dungeons and Dragons. To me, that's what I love out of it, but that's just from a personal thing. If I look at it when they came out with 3rd edition, to me, that's the biggest, broadest edition that's ever existed of D&D. Yeah, it hit its zenith for sure, at least in sales and things. I never remember D&D being more widely played by a wider audience than with 3rd edition. I know 5th edition may have even eclipsed that. I don't know. But as we've seen over time, the game keeps sort of, I don't necessarily know if we'll say dumbing itself down, but it's definitely not going in directions that people that really get into D&D, you want, that I don't know what I'm trying to say. We don't edit anything. This is, I let my heart lead me in this stuff because I hate making general things. But for me, D&D has went to where by the time 5th edition came out, I was no longer interested in what D&D had to offer, period. Still not. I don't know what they have going on now, because it felt like the game, as it was written and presented rules-wise, just became a powder puff game that you roll up a level 1 character and you're walking around a superhero and stuff. It lost its edge. It lost its edge. It lost its identity and its character. It tried to be all things at once to attract the most people at once. And it ended up just losing what D&D was about. That's what I'm trying to say here. Maybe some of you will agree with that, maybe you won't. I don't have anything against any edition of D&D. In fact, I'm not a huge D&D gamer today, or at any time in the last, 2 decades. I mean, it just is what it is. But yeah, and other RPG systems have sort of went the same way. Look at Rollmaster, for example. Look at where it hit with 3rd edition. 4th edition was just a re-release of 3rd edition with a few points changed. Basically, the books were completely interchangeable. And a few more additional books were added on from 4th edition that if you had 3rd edition, you could just buy those and use them as they were written. But that era of Rollmaster, I think Rollmaster hit its zenith right there. And then nothing after that, really. Nothing. But then they released Rollmaster, what is it? Unified, I believe it's called, or whatever. And from the most part, what I hear, because people I've talked to Ian Malcolmson over at the Wheelie Muffin channel. I trust him when he tells me something. Me and this guy were a lot alike when it comes to RPGs and stuff. I love his channel. Go check him out. You've seen him here on the Random Encounters show, opening up the holiday special every year. Yeah, awesome guy. But, yeah. He didn't make it sound like it was such a great thing. I don't know. Can't say personally. But when they announced that it was going to be a bridge between 2nd edition and 3rd, 4th edition, all that told me was it's not going to be as good as 3rd or 4th edition. It's going to set itself behind a little bit. So yeah, and you guys will know plenty of RPGs that started off strong and went downhill once it hit mainstream. I don't know why that is. Some of them I know are the opposite. They hit and they went wild once they went mainstream. RuneQuest, I could say looking at 1st edition RuneQuest and stuff like that compared to what I have, 3rd edition. It seems that going mainstream was a big boon for it. I don't know how it is after that. I've never been a huge RuneQuest fan. In fact, the first time I ever sat down and played RuneQuest and such was here on the show. Not here on the show, but since we started the show, I finally got a hold of a bunch of the 3rd edition material through Avalon Hill. It's fantastic. I like it. Not as good as Rollmaster to me, but I like it. And I did some solo RPG campaigns with it, and it worked out well. I mean, I'd rather play that than something like D&D, for example. So, yeah, I like the detail. Anyways, though, imagine being a hidden gem and having the love and passion poured into it from the same people over time, I think has been a great boon to it. We're going to talk about Imagine more and more until we get this to go. More people looking at it. Yeah, because it definitely deserves it. I know it'll probably never be a mainstream game because you actually have to read and understand rules, be able to do addition and subtraction and such things. And it's not just rolling a D20 over and over again. And, we'll leave that to the mass market stuff. But as far as the real gamers go, they want to have some meat to chew on. We need to get this out there. Anyways, the surprise with the Imagine RPG. I know the light's going crazy in here. What can I do? I'm a not a shapeshifter. What do they call it? A light bender or whatever. The shadow hanging over me is no trick of the light, mate. No, the surprise with Imagine was Michael. I don't know. Michael, I see people call him Mike, but Michael Tenry shot me a message and said, hey, look out for a package. I'm sending you something. And he didn't say what really or anything. And so I'm looking and boom, here comes the package. Messaged him, I got my package, and he told me a little bit more about this stuff. But wow. In the package, we received 2 novels. Yeah, we're going to talk about these for a second. The first novel, it's called the Diamond series, these novels. But the first novel is Diamond Lake. It's written by Martha Lynn Carroll. She put in the books here. Let's see. I believe in the foreword. No. Michael wrote the foreword. Somewhere in the book, she talks about her nerd career, basically, and how she ran into the Imagine RPG, and it really brought her in. And she, along with the rest of the team there, she became a member of the team with the RPG and has contributed to it throughout the years since she got involved. My apologies, Martha, for not knowing the full story. This is sort of a, I don't know, spur of the moment video we're doing here. But I definitely I couldn't wait to talk about these. But she wrote about, she's been involved with Imagine, has enjoyed playing Imagine and such from the beginning. Anyways, so far she's written 2 novels, Diamond Lake and Diamond Immortal. And what's really interesting to me is these are from hers, I believe it's her or maybe someone else's that she played in, but a campaign they played using the Imagine role-playing game system. And the way she wrote these books is absolutely perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's one of those things where you have an RPG system and you have a campaign world based on that RPG system. I think if you're going to write about that stuff and make a novel out of it, I should say, that her approach to it, I'm absolutely in love with. So far, I've made it through the first book. Fantastic. Making it through the second book there, about halfway through. And for many people, it may seem like a very slow-going story for what it is. To me, though, I am eating it up because as a gamer myself, someone who wants to play the Imagine RPG system somewhere, this has given me a really good idea of the game. That she's wrote the novel based on using this RPG system in this campaign world. And she does something that a lot of novelists fail to do when they create books based on RPG game sessions and such. She has brought it to life with massive amounts of detail. Yeah? That's why I absolutely love it. That's why it might seem to go a little slow. But what she's done is she's taken this campaign world and she's given such vivid descriptions and explanations over things in this world that it's definitely a prime resource that if they ever release the campaign that this is based in for players to use, this is definitely a massive, massive, massive treasure trove. It's a mine for gamers and game masters who want to bring this world to life on the table. You're learning in-depth information about locations, about the peoples and their histories, about their religions, etc., about battles and such that's happened in history, and why things are the way they are in this world. I like that she doesn't leave I can't think of anything she's left up assuming that the reader would connect at some point. that everything's detailed. I really, really enjoy that. Other RPG novels that I've read, whether they be based on D&D or Warhammer, etc., a lot of times the author just has a base assumption that you're coming to those books already knowing those histories, knowing those things. And there's a lot that's left out. There's a lot that the reader misses because maybe they've never played those games. Maybe they've never read those campaign books. They're just picking up a novel because they're interested in it. Yeah? So fantastic job, Martha. These are amazing. I'm enjoying it. I can't wait for you to release more. Let's hurry you up. Take everything you got important in life and just throw it to the side and get to writing. Yeah? No, just kidding. But I can't wait to see more of the Diamond series. The characters, as far as the novels go, the characters are great. They're based upon the player races and classes and such that you will find in the Imagine RPG. And she's really pulled it in a way that they truly fit, those races and those classes you will find in Imagine RPG, in the Imagine RPG system. The way they describe combat and magic usage, along with divine magic, if you will, or what you would expect paladins and priests and such to use, ritualistic stuff and whatnot. The way she's written it seems to be the way I would expect it to play out of the rule set. Yeah, I haven't really worked with magic so much in the rule set. Combat spot on. I love the combat in Imagine, guys. The almost spontaneous nature of the combat, along with just how instead of you go, I go, you go, I go, it's broke down into the 10-second intervals, and things can not even barely have an order to it. It's beautiful chaos. It's the way combat should be. Chaos. I love it. Spontaneous. Yeah? Absolutely. Imagine combat. I don't know. It may win the combat category of my favorite of any RPG book. I've got to work with the magic and such. Yeah? I'm typically not a magic user player or a priest or whatever player. Give me a bow. Give me a sword. Off we go. So yeah, but my hat's off to these novels because it doesn't seem like she wrote sort of like they journaled their game down play by play and then she put into a book. No, it all flows seamlessly and everything. But you can definitely tell that it's well rooted in the rule set of Imagine. I love it. And the world is amazing. What do you want me to tell you? The world portrayed in this book, it's classic fantasy trope enough that it feels like home for fantasy fans. But then it has its own unique individual flavors and what's going on in the world and such that it can hit you with a few curveballs. So that's what I like. For me, I don't like fantasy that's so exotic that it feels completely alien to me. Yeah? I like the roots to be in the classic fantasy genre. I love having the roots there. And I love when people put their own spins on those roots. So, yeah, I can't praise these enough. I'm absolutely, absolutely enjoying them. And that's not all. In the books, we'll just flip here as you can see some examples. I don't know. I have a feeling. I don't know. Let me see if I can get a... I don't know who did the maps here. I have a feeling it was Mike did the maps. I can't say that for sure, though. Maybe Martha did the maps. I don't know. But maps are included in the book, which, again, for people that may want to bring this campaign, this world to a campaign of their own, on the table, very, very helpful to have those maps. Yeah? But Mike did us a big favor. He sent us over some very beautifully printed and enlarged maps of locations that are included in the series of books. So we have Diamond Lake, the town. We have the Port of Whitestone. Look how detailed the maps are, and they're keyed. Major locations are keyed on each map. We have the Isles of Ethin. And then we have the royal highways, the stuff surrounding Diamond Lake, the city. Yeah, very nice parchment, man. These feel amazing. I'm not sure what kind of parchment paper or what kind of paper these were printed on, but they feel like, I don't know, a treasure map in your hands, or the way you would expect one to feel, you know what I mean? But beautifully printed maps, and wow. I already know we're going to be visiting at some point some of these locations, maybe in a campaign of our own or whatever. And I'm hoping that Martha, Mike, whoever, team up and do it, whoever, listen to me. This is awesome. Yeah, the campaign world here is awesome. I'm digging it. I'm digging the depth. I'm digging the history. I'm digging the way the religion's presented and such. I'm digging it. Yeah, I'm really hoping that a full campaign for this world, a campaign setting book, will come out. Yeah, but regardless if it doesn't, Martha's done a good enough job with, a fantastic job, I should say, with the detail in her novel series, that it won't be hard for the careful reader that wants to play in this world, whether it's a game master or a solo gamer or whatever, to be able to pull out the essential bits and use things like the included maps in the novels to really flesh out and start their own campaign in this world. So yeah, I'm very, very impressed. Anyway, we're going to be, I've got a few more things to wrap up. And then we're going to be really back in the saddle. We've got a lot of catching up to do. We're nowhere near where I wanted to be by this time of the year. We've got Halloween coming up very shortly, guys. I'm excited. My favorite holiday of the year. I love the fall. I love everything spooky and everything like that. I can't wait for Halloween. I'm going to be coming here with some kind of Halloween special. My tradition for Halloween has always been spooky video games. Yeah, we did Midnight Mutants last year, so we'll have to pull something new out this year, even though I could play Midnight Mutants every year. That's the time I pull that game out. It's the Halloween game for me. But we'll see what we can do. But like I said, expect to see a push for some video gaming content, especially that's going to be the primary focus. But also be on the lookout for our tabletop videos, table talk, and etc. that we're going to do, the deep dives and reviews and stuff like that. Hopefully, coming into the new season, things are going to open up enough that we can really devote it, guys. We can really. I don't know if I can push 3 or 4 videos a week, but I think I'm going to try, at least in an effort, to get us closer and closer to where I want us to be. Yeah? Anyways, big shout out to all our channel members again for sticking with us. If you guys are interested in helping the show out, being part of the show behind the scenes, we do the members only videos. For our members, I'm going to put a post up as soon as I post this video, but be on the lookout for the questions post. You know, that's where you can ask me anything. I don't care, anything. Gaming stuff, video gaming stuff, life advice, I don't care. You can ask and I will do my best to answer. And if you haven't seen, there are some gym videos in those question and answers posts. We've had some times. Yeah, and it's also, you know, that it's a little bit behind the scenes when we do that each month. So we're always on top of that. I hope all of you see in the video, if you haven't really gotten into the community, sharing your hobbies and stuff, whether through Discord or Facebook or here in the comment sections or whatever, jump in. I'd love to hear from you. There's a few of you I haven't heard from in months because we haven't put a video up. I hope you jump on and say hello. I miss you guys. So anyways, we're back. We're running. We're coming back faster, stronger, better. And I don't know, kicking ass on the wild side. See you later.
And this has been but one tale from the days of high adventure. you can join Deathstalker 5 on his quest by hitting that subscription button and joining his random encounter army. On the channel's About page, you will find our Facebook page and Facebook group where you can get more directly involved with the fun. And make sure you use our affiliate links to support our show.